Hello everyone and welcome to Tipsy Education, where we actually provide you with top tips to meet your specific need. So if you're new to this channel, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button and also enable the notification bell icon so as to be the very first to receive new post notifications and updates whenever we create a new video or tutorial. So today we're actually going to be sharing with you top 10 questions and answers in the topic photosynthesis. So the first question that we have here for you is, why is the process of photosynthesis important? So this is the response here. Photosynthesis is important because it is the process that plant uses to transform carbon dioxide into oxygen with the help of sunlight. Animals need oxygen to survive, and plants act as nature's air filter by removing harmful carbon dioxide. So this is the importance of photosynthesis. The next question is, write down the equation for photosynthesis in the various ways. So the first, actually in word, if we want to write this in word, actually, we are going to say carbon dioxide actually react with water in order to give oxygen and sugar. So this is the first here that we are actually writing. So to write down the equation for photosynthesis in the various way in word, we have carbon dioxide reacting with water to produce oxygen and sugar. So to write it in the chemical formula or chemical symbol, we are going to write it as carbon dioxide, which is CO2 plus water to give us oxygen, which is O2 plus sugar. So to write a balanced equation of these in word, we have to know that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide actually react with 6 molecules of water to give us 6 molecules of oxygen with sugar being released. So to now represent this actually in the chemical symbol, why in the balance equation we have to use 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacting with 6 molecules of water to give 6 molecules of oxygen with carbohydrate or sugar, which is actually being produced. So the next question here is, write the equation for cellular respiration in the various ways. So the two ways to write this equation for cellular respiration are, we are going to write it like this. Glucose plus oxygen will give us carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP. So to write this in the chemical symbol, we are going to write it like this. The glucose is actually C6H12O6 with 6 molecules of oxygen will give us 6 carbon dioxide molecules with 6 molecules of water, and ATP is being produced. Why in the same way in word, it is carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP, we give glucose plus oxygen. So to now write it in the balanced form or balanced equation, we have it now in this method like this. 6 molecules of carbon dioxide will actually react with 6 molecules of water plus ATP will give us carbohydrate with 6 molecules of oxygen being produced. So the next question is, what are reactants and products in a chemical equation? Why is a chemical equation like a justice scale? Of course, to explain this, we are going to say reactants are the substances that start a chemical reaction. That starts a chemical reaction. While products are the substance produced in a chemical reaction. So a chemical equation is like a justice scale. Why? Because it must have the same mass of both sides to be balanced. That is why, just as the same way that we actually write a balanced equation for photosynthesis, you are going to see that this is it here in the chemical symbol. We actually have 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacting with 6 molecules of water to produce 6 molecules of oxygen with carbohydrates, which is actually being produced. You are going to see that the same amount of carbon dioxide molecules on the right hand side or left hand side of the equation is equal to the same to that of the right hand side. So this equation is balanced. It means that the number of carbon dioxide on the left hand side is equal to that on the right hand. Same way for hydrogen hydrogen and oxygen are the same. That is why here we are explaining that it is actually a justice, it's actually said to be a justice scale because the reactants are, we are going to see that the chemical equation must be like a justice scale because it must have the same mass on both sides of the equation, which must be balanced. Just like a scale, a chemical equation must have the same number of molecules of mass on each side, just as we have explained. This actually led us to remember the law of conservation of mass, which actually states that matter cannot be created or destroyed, but of course it can only be converted from one form to another. And according to the coefficients of the number of the carbon dioxide and oxygen molecule, as we have written the balance equation for photosynthesis is just the same as the number of coefficient of carbon on the right hand side is equal to that of the left hand, as we have seen here above. Same way as the number of molecules of hydrogen and that of oxygen must be the same from the right hand side of the equation as well as the left hand side. So the next question here is, what is the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration? Where do they occur inside the cell? So we have to give an explanation of this. What are the relationship between these two, photosynthesis and cellular respiration, and where they actually occur? To explain this, photosynthesis and cellular respiration are two biological processes that are responsible for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between living organisms and the environment. So photosynthesis actually occur in the chloroplast of plant and the chloroplast of plant cell, where plants uses sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose. So the main purpose of photosynthesis is to convert radiant energy from the sun into chemical energy that can be used for food. While on the other hand, cellular respiration actually occur in the mitochondria of the living organism, that is animal and plants, to break down sugar in the presence of oxygen to release energy in the form of ATP. This process actually releases carbon dioxide and water as a waste product. So this is actually the relationship between the two, and where they actually occur as in the case of photosynthesis, they actually occur in the chloroplast of plant cell, while cellular respiration, on the other hand, actually occur in the mitochondria of the organism. So these are the relationship between the two. So the next question is, when would plant need to release energy by cellular respiration? So the answer, plant will need to release energy through cellular respiration when sunlight is not present. Of course, this is true because, and this mostly happens during the period of darkness and in the way that the plant is not able to photosynthesize. So the next question, write down the chemical equation of photosynthesis. Of course, we have already seen this from above, but to write the balance equation as to bring it again is to make sure that the number of carbon dioxide and the number of oxygen or water molecules that actually react as 6:6. That 6 molecules of carbon dioxide have to react with 6 molecules of water in the presence of sunlight, and to produce carbohydrate with oxygen being given off to the environment as a byproduct. So the equation can also be written in word as we have seen above. So the next is actually, what are the chemical compounds making up the reactants and product of photosynthesis and cellular respiration? So to explain this, you can see that the reactants for photosynthesis are actually carbon dioxide and water, and they actually produce oxygen and glucose as the end product. And that of cellular respiration are oxygen and glucose, and the product are actually carbon dioxide, water, and ATP in the form of energy. So the next is, what is the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration? As we have seen again above, photosynthesis and cellular respiration are actually two biological processes, which is true. They are responsible for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between living organisms and the environment. While photosynthesis converts carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose, glucose is actually used as food by plant, and oxygen is actually being given as a byproduct as well. While cellular respiration, on the other hand, will convert oxygen and glucose into water and carbon dioxide. Therefore, water and carbon dioxide are the byproduct, and ATP is energy that is transformed from the process. In other words, the product of photosynthesis are the reactants of cellular respiration and vice versa. So this actually is very important to take note of, to see the relationship that actually occur between these two as an addition from the question that we actually have above as the other relationship between the two. So the next is actually, what is the main purpose of photosynthesis? Of course, is actually the main purpose of photosynthesis is to convert light energy, that's the radiant energy from sun, into chemical energy that can be used for food. So what is the main purpose of cellular respiration? Again, the main purpose of this is to break down simple sugar into carbon dioxide and water and release energy in the form of, that's adenosine triphosphate, that's ATP, which is the energy form. So the ATP therefore is used for all the processes that occur within a cell that needs energy. So where do photosynthesis and cellular respiration occur inside the cell? Of course, we have already seen this. Photosynthesis occur in the chloroplast of plant, while cellular respiration occur in the mitochondria of the organism. So this is actually the simplest answer here. So the next here, we have how are oxygen and carbon dioxide exchanged between living organisms and the environment? This is the 10th question here. So we have this, the process by which oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged between living organism and the environment is through cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Photosynthesis converts carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose, while cellular respiration converts oxygen and glucose into water and carbon dioxide. This exchange of gases occurs through the stomata in plant leaves and through the respiratory system in animals. So these are the top 10 questions and answers that you can actually find under this topic, photosynthesis in general. So thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also enable the notification bell icon so as to be the very first to receive new post notifications and updates whenever we have a new video or tutorial. And see you again in our next episode. Bye-bye.
And now I know my heart is a ghost town.